Hello everyone, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Eva and I'm the Academic Dean at AIA. Nice meeting you both.
Likewise, Eva, and thank you for
Yeah,
joining us today.
yeah,
In such short notice as well.
yeah.
So I think we can start off now, Maria and Riya and Eva. I think people will keep joining. So without delay, I think we'll start. So just hello everyone. A very good morning and a very good afternoon to everyone joining from Australia. Thank you for joining our first webinar of the Smart Start Saturdays webinar series, where we'll have representatives from different universities and institutes in Australia and also in Malaysia as well, joining us and presenting their institute and their course offerings and scholarship opportunities. So today in our first webinar, we have the esteemed Analytics Institute of Australia, as well as Southern Cross Education Institute, who have joined us to explain their product offerings, as well as their scholarship opportunities and special discounts for you all. First up, we have Maria Duarte and Eva from Analytics Institute of Australia. Just to give a brief about the institute is based in Melbourne, Australia, and they have bachelor's programs in analytics and business transformation programs. Without further delay, Maria, if you want to take over.
Thanks so much, AK, and hi everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're really hoping to give you some insight into AIA and the courses that we teach. Really fortunate to have Eva here with us. She is our academic dean, and please really use up this opportunity. Obviously, Eva is a very busy person, and this is a really amazing chance to be able to ask her questions about the academic side of the degrees. We'll be speaking very generally about the courses, but you'll be able to see a little bit more about our subjects. And Eva has been, well, she's amazing, but she's been pivotal in the development of the course and in the content of our degrees. So really wonderful opportunity for all of us. Without further ado, I'm going to share my screen so we can start hearing a little bit more about our degrees. So I'm hoping that that is now appearing. And we'll be speaking generally about AIA, about our courses and what you can study with us, and also about the scholarships and bursaries that we have available for students. So AIA stands for the Analytics Institute of Australia. We are a really new and dynamic institution, and we're located here in Melbourne. We currently offer 2 bachelor degrees, and as you can see here, we are really fortunate in being headed up by an excellent board of directors, an academic board, and an industry advisory board. Now, these things are really important because it means that our courses will remain and have to be quite innovative. They will be relevant to industry, and it means that our students are going to be very well prepared once they complete their degrees to be able to get a job. We love students coming in to study with us, but we also know that the whole purpose of you coming and doing a bachelor degree here in Australia is to start your career, and we're really here to help for that. So we are located in Melbourne. We are, I think it's at least a block from Southern Cross Station, which is probably the biggest station here in Melbourne.
4 minutes.
4 minutes away. So what that means is that you can be located here in Melbourne in the city, or you can perhaps live a little bit further away, because it's really easy to get here. So we're very fortunate to be located here. The other thing that I would mention is that our building, our campus, is incredibly warm. It's very hospitable, and the fact that our class sizes are very small means that you will always see a welcoming face, and we're very lucky in that our academic staff, as well as the general staff here, know all of our students. I'm sure that if you asked Eva the students in her class, she can tell you the whole list, and she will know each person as well. So we're really, really fortunate that is the case. Another thing I will mention just about Melbourne, as you can see here, is that we're so fortunate. I'm a little bit biased. I am a big, big fan of Melbourne, but it seems that the world is a big fan of Melbourne as well, because as you can see, it's been awarded the most livable city, or it's always within, I think, the top 10. It's been within the top 10 for the last
decade.
Yeah, let's go with 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it is because of inclusivity. It's very diverse. We're really fortunate in having a very multicultural population, and we're really also fortunate in having a really wonderful infrastructure that supports all these businesses that we're located amongst. All right, so I will show you this slide, but I might leave it with Eva to speak a little bit about our industry, about the analytics industry, and the reason that these courses have been developed.
So basically, we are a new provider, and one of the top reasons that we are a new provider because we are responding to the needs of the digital transformation, or as we call it, the fourth industrial revolution, when we know that computers, big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence are actually leading the way of creating new practices, new services, and new products. And to basically start these new companies that are working on the new services, products, and practices, we need new professionals. And so far, one of the most popular choices for young people was the IT industry, but we realized that we need to diversify the offerings of the IT industry and create professions that can blend the IT capabilities with business transformation skills. People who understand the trends in the economy, who understand the need for agile businesses. And as such, we actually responded to this need, and we created our 2 courses, one with a particular focus on analytics and one with a focus on business transformation. Both courses are interconnected, and so professionals in business professionals in analytics will be trained in business transformation and vice versa. So what you can see here, some statistics about our future, what the business leaders say about how things will pan out in the next 5 years. And also, there are some challenges identified, and so these are the skills that we are going to develop here, so the new professionals will be able to respond to these growing issues and developments in our society.
So with this in mind, these are the 2 degrees that we have here at AIA. As you can see, we have a Bachelor of Business Transformation and a Bachelor of Analytics. We'll speak to you a little bit about each one, and please feel free to put any questions in the chat, and we will be able to answer those towards the end of the presentation. So our Bachelor of Analytics, it's a higher education bachelor degree. It's a 3-year degree, and it is based here in Melbourne. You will have face-to-face classes generally for our students. As a full-time international student, that means that you will be here at least 2 days a week in your classes. We're, again, very, very fortunate in that there's a day that is available for students to drop in terms of getting help with their academic skills, perhaps if they've got issues or questions. We've got a full day that is open to them to come and ask any of those questions to our academic staff. But in terms of class time, our students are in classes 2 days a week. As you can see, here is a little bit of information, but again, I'll go to Eva and perhaps going to the next slide where we've got a bit more detail about our subjects, but perhaps Eva can tell you all a little bit more about the academic side of the degree.
Sure. We are basically looking at a 3-year degree, as Maria said, and I would like to actually draw on a little bit on the expertise that was utilized to develop these degrees. So the degrees were actually developed by industry experts and academic specialists in the field of analytics and business transformation. And we have a robust industry advisory board with members representing the key analytics global key analytics companies in the world. And we were very fortunate that these industry advisory board members are working with me continuously on matching the curriculum with the most contemporary industry skills and employability skills. So just a very brief introduction to how our program is organized. So the program is organized in 3-year levels, as you can see that. And then we have trimesters. So we have 3 trimesters each year. And they are actually created so that the students can catch up if for some reason they don't manage to complete one of the units, even though we work extremely hard to support the students in completing their assessments. And in the first year, the students are basically looking at understanding the macro environment in business, look at the fundamentals of business statistics, strategic management, work integrated learning, and perhaps I will say a little bit more about this because I am teaching it as well. Work integrated learning is a unit that focuses on linking the academic skills with the employability skills and also preparing the students very early to actually hit the ground running, as we say it in Australia, basically connect them with employers and help them secure projects in leading companies here in the CBD and beyond. Now, we also organize field trips for our students, and I'm very proud to announce that our first intake managed to have 2 significant industry collaborations in the first teaching block, which was one was with a visit to Deloitte, and we basically were able to see how the work environment looks like for data analytics specialists. What is data analytics as a profession? What kind of skills are required? And then we had a 3-hour professional seminar run by SAS, and I will talk a little bit more about SAS and the digital badge later. One of their senior trainers. So the students basically were able to see what this profession is about and how this will work in the future for them and ask the right questions from the beginning.
It's amazing. So you will see that the subject listing is quite specialized, and we'll see some similarities between this syllabus and the one for the Bachelor of Business Transformation. Before we head to that, here you can see some of the career outcomes. I think with analytics, it's very much a buzzword. It's very popular at the moment, but I think it's really important for students to start to understand where they can actually go with their degrees. So you can see here on the screen some of the career outcomes that we expect for our students. This is through the Bachelor of Analytics. And you can see here that there are several different areas that they can go into and specialize in once they've started their careers. As Eva said, there's a lot of industry-related things integrated into the course, but the WIL subjects, I think, are a real benefit for our students. And I don't think I know any other place where during the first intake, the first trimester, students have such such a chance to go and meet people from industry at such an early stage. So we're really, really lucky that that's been incorporated into the course. And again, in that first instance, so they can start really thinking about where they want to go, what these courses can lead to, and start really picturing their future careers.
And just a little bit more about these careers. Often when we ask people, so what is really this job about? So once again, just to remind ourselves that with the digital revolution, we have generated unprecedented amounts of data. And this data is now driving the understanding of businesses of how to actually place their products, services, how to create efficiencies. And these students, when they graduate, will be those people who will be able to work with data, to collect data, ask the right questions, analyze the data, and as they say, create user stories on the basis of which we can actually make decisions and predict future trends for business practices and, as I said, the placement of product services and finding new efficiencies.
Amazing. Wonderful. And here we have our second degree. So apologies, it says Bachelor of Analytics, but it's the Bachelor of Business Transformation. This is our second degree, and you will see it's very similar in the fact that it's a 3-year bachelor degree as well. This also means that our students will be here twice a week in class time, and they will also follow the trimester model. We have intake starting March, July, and November of each year. This means that you have the opportunity to commence at any of these times. Once you do, then you will study on a trimester basis, and everything is here on campus in Melbourne as well.
Just to inform you that a trimester consists of 12 weeks, and we have just created our new academic calendars for 2024. So that will be available to our agents to share with the students as well, and prepare for the rhythm of study and the rhythm of breaks as well that are always welcome by the students.
And here you can see the syllabus for the degree. You'll see, I know it's a lot of information here, so you might not be able to tell, but the first 2 years of each course have got similar subjects. So in the final year is when our students really start specializing in either analytics or business transformation. I think this is a really great advantage for our students because they will start familiarizing themselves with what area they want to continue into, not only within the industry, but also within their specialization.
Absolutely. I think that's a really important point, that it will give students to develop that professional maturity to make the right decision for themselves. And also the way this curriculum is structured, that in the first 2 years, the units actually do not require prerequisites until we actually get to a couple of units in year 2. And then in year 3, obviously there will be prerequisites, building blocks that need to be completed prior to arriving to these units. Please, if you would like to ask questions, once we finish our presentation, we are happy to jump back into these slides and answer any questions regarding the curriculum and the course structure.
Absolutely. Again, we can see some of the career outcomes. You will see some similarities as well. But like Eva was saying, this is an area that's really developed and is developing so quickly. Where at AIA, the degrees are really designed to be able to be a step ahead of what's happening. And as I mentioned before, it's great that we have students coming here to study, but we know how important employability is and how important their graduate outcomes are. So the team is very dedicated to ensuring that our students will be really well prepared and will be very competitive once they do graduate and are able to achieve these different roles.
So once again, I would just like to add to that, Maria, so well presented, that the business transformation course is not just another business course. It's the business course of the digital transformation. and such deep, in-depth understanding about data and working with data and understanding, working with big data and understanding where customers and products are, and literally the development of global business skills is available to the students here. And perhaps one more important thing is that if our students decide to move anywhere in the world, they will develop the skills to perhaps start their own startup or help with the family business in a much more nuanced and much more productive way for the 21st century.
That's really important because this is obviously a very big industry here in Australia, but it's also a big industry at an international level. So if you are studying either of these courses, you will be well equipped to be able to continue working here in Australia, or hopefully wherever you would like in the world. It's not an area that is just specific to a certain region of the world. So it's very much an international and global industry that is really, well, it's growing and burgeoning.
I would just like to add to this that we're talking about the courses. Obviously, courses are not, they don't come alive without good teachers and good academics. And I just wanted to mention that we in Australia have a very stringent higher education regulatory body, TEXA, and TEXA has incredibly strict but also very clear guidelines on how higher education practices need to be structured. And we would like to proudly announce that we have amazing TEXA compliant PhD holding academics who have been previously taught at leading universities in Melbourne or internationally, and they have been working with international students. They are multilingual. Many of them might be able to speak the languages of our students, and they are super welcoming and supportive.
Some of the graduate attributes that students will achieve mentioned here on this slide. I was speaking to Eva about this yesterday because I think that some of these traits are not just wonderful for graduates to have in terms of employability and being competitive, but they're real life skills. And you can see things like being a problem solver in an innovative and creative way, being socially responsible. Things like this will really develop our students, not only in terms of the career, but in a real personal sense. So these are also things that are very well sought within different industries. So they're things that have been identified as key points that we really need to focus on.
Absolutely, it couldn't have been said. Very well said. Yes.
Eva mentioned this before, and this is really, really important. I think this is something that really distinguishes us from other courses, from other degrees, and it's a really big benefit for our students. Eva, could you tell us a little bit about SAS and what it is and how it impacts in the industry?
Yeah, so SAS is basically a world-leading statistics analysis software platform. And we are actually very lucky to have had the opportunity to develop a partnership with SAS. And given that we were one of the two private higher education colleges who are currently offering an analytics degree, and SAS has been supporting us from the beginning, and they have built into our education degree a SAS digital badge, which means it's a globally recognized digital badge, which gives an immediate advantage to our students when they are actually looking for work here in Australia or overseas. And we also have, as I already mentioned, we also have continuous training provided by SAS professionals, and we also have 3 SAS educators on campus now. So this is one of the highlights of our education. This is so thoughtfully integrated. I'm now talking from the academic side of it, integrated into our units. So students will be prepared to work with the SaaS platforms to deliver the skills that SaaS would usually provide in their trainings for professionals for very expensive price tags.
Fabulous, thank you. And AK, you referred to scholarships. This is clearly very, very important, and we really value the academic merit of our students. So we have many different scholarships available. We also have bursaries. We have things that will make our courses much more accessible to students. And I would highly recommend that if you apply to study at AIA, you definitely must apply for a scholarship. At the moment, we've had incredible students who have had wonderful applications, and that's what we look for. We look for really great applications. We will look at academics in terms of how students have previously performed, and based on these things, we will be able to hopefully award more students with scholarships. As you can see here, it's up to the value of over $10,000, and this will clearly make a big difference for students wanting to study with us. So please, if you are applying, please ask me about the scholarships and we can get your application started for the scholarship as well.
I would like to add two things, if it's okay.
Yes, of course.
So I would like to talk just very briefly about the learning environment. Our learning environments are actually almost identical with the working spaces that our students will be employed. So they look like the offices where they will be working. They are fully digital, which we are proud of because they are environmentally friendly. But we have a leading learning management system, the same as Australia's best universities. It's called Canvas. And we are just at the moment undergoing a Canvas-ready units project, making sure that we have the best online and blended learning experience, so that if our students are not in class, they have access to recordings, they have access to full content that was delivered in class, and they also have almost 24/7 access to the lectures via the discussion boards and the announcements. The other thing I would like to say, because parents will probably think, oh my God, is my child too young to leave? And we know that a lot of these young students are leaving the family for the first time. We are very aware of this, and we have very robust student well-being programs in place, making sure that we continuously touch base with each and every student. Maria told me that I should say that I have contacted at least 6 to 10 times each individual student myself, apart from other members of the team, in the first teaching block, to make sure that they settled in well, that they are okay, that they are ready to submit their assignments. So we really take pride in our personalized approach and in our student well-being policies and practices at AIA. Thank you.
And I did ask Eva to mention that because I honestly don't know anywhere else that would do that happens. The education that our students are receiving is incredibly personalized, and it really is, I think it's a great chance for the academic team as well to really get to know our students, to know their strengths, but to also know where they might need assistance and help academically, but also in their personal life. We have students who are traveling for the first time, who are starting their lives in a different country. Many of them, if not all of them,
often suffering from homesickness.
That's
or
right.
For example, they lose their travel cards, and I also went with them and got another one. So we are here to support them, and we always say this is your second family for now. So we run a lot of life skills workshops and a lot of workshops about the Australian culture, the Australian workplace culture, to assist with the integration. But something that we are also equally proud of in terms of our context, the Melbourne CBD is a hub for international students. So there are very strong agencies here supporting students, like the Study Melbourne Hub. And we work with all of these to have additional external support when it comes to well-being, when it comes to work, access to work, and understanding students' work rights. So I'm not going to talk more because I know time is limited and other people would like to say and ask questions. So please, we are welcoming your questions now. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. So hopefully we'll close this share screen and see if there are any questions in the chat, or perhaps AK, if you have any questions for us as well.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Eva, for the in-depth, explanation about your programs, as well as the scholarship opportunities, as well as the student support services that you have, for students. And since they're undergraduate programs, a lot of the students are new to the country, so it's great to hear about the student support services, which is something we are also concerned about, Maria and Eva. There is one question in the Q&A. So I'm just going to read it out. It's can I have the entry requirements, fees, and assessment criteria of AIA programs? I believe that is something we can share with the student. But if you all want to briefly go over it, that'd be fine, Maria. And the same question continues on to, is it possible for someone in the age of 29 to join AIA business analytics programs?
Excellent, thank you, great questions. We can definitely send you all the information regarding the course. We've got a really great brochure that actually details every one of the subjects. So I think that will be very helpful as well, so that you can really start looking at what the difference is between the Bachelor of Analytics and the Bachelor of Business Transformation. So you can make a bit of a more informed decision in terms of what it is that you would like to do. With both degrees, they have the same price, so that makes it a little bit easier. If you are applying from offshore, the course is $9,000 per study period. This means generally if you start in March, you would probably do 2 study periods in that year. If you start in July, this will also be the case. And if you start in November, we actually have a November intake coming up on the 13th now. You would begin in the summer period. So generally, it's 2 study periods per year. So it would be about $18,000 in 1 year. This is not including any scholarships. So as I said, if you are applying, you must apply for a scholarship. So that is the full price. But we would be looking very much at our academic transcripts to see how you've done previously, to see if we can award you a really fantastic scholarship.
Now, in terms of the assessments, because that was a question as well, if I understood, is that right? Yeah, the assessments are all, like the units are all accredited by TEXA, and the unit guides, the assessments have been all checked and accredited by TEXA, so they are basically standard kind of format. It is. I have been working in the Australian higher education for 20 years. We haven't released the assessments to agents prior to this, in my experience. But on our website, you can have the course handbooks that give actually a really nice introduction to each of the units, so the students can understand at what level the education is being conducted and what exactly the unit is about.
And I believe the last question was about eligibility. Yes, we would welcome your application. We would look at obviously what you've done previously, and we expect that some students will have perhaps completed a course in a very different area and have discovered this new world of data and analytics, and have also explored what the possibilities are for their futures. So we definitely expect that we will have students who will come from different backgrounds, different career paths, and are looking for a real change, and to be able to start gaining the knowledge that will make them competitive in a very new and developing industry.
And we will be able to send you through some equivalencies as well with the information that Maria said, so that you have the absolute clarity about entry requirements to the course.
I hope that's answered the questions, AK.
I believe that did, Maria and Eva. Thank you very much. I do have a question from my side, just to confirm a few things regarding the scholarship. Now, the scholarships you mentioned, do they need to be specially applied, or are they going to be automatically, given to the student when it comes to the offer letter?
No, they need to be applied for. Because we have different scholarships, then it would be a matter of seeing which one is the one that suits that student best. We have a really fantastic colleague, V, who does all of our admissions processes, but I know that she has previously seen applications of a really high standard that haven't applied for a scholarship, and she will ask them to please apply for a scholarship. So we will always try and help the student get the best scholarship possible, but it is something that they need to tick a little box and perhaps supply a little bit more documentation.
Just would like to say that if, for example, the student is not, the entry requirements are not met exactly, but the student has demonstrated good academic skills in their prior studies, perhaps didn't have the right math subjects or something, usually those applications come to me, and then I do a thorough analysis and vet with the CEO the decision, and often we are able to accommodate the student with some additional support. One more thing, we didn't talk about special needs. Unfortunately, sometimes even these beautiful young individuals who apply to our courses find themselves in situations when illness or some family circumstances come in the way of their studies. We actually have processes for this. So there are a number of processes. For example, students can apply for extensions and special considerations in terms of the assignment, so if they cannot submit by the due date. We also have a reduced study load for students with chronic or serious medical conditions. And these are all case-by-case decisions that are made by the relevant department and staff at AIA.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Eva. There are two more questions in the chat section. The next question is, can I bring my spouse if I follow a bachelor's degree in Australia?
Yeah, I will leave the more visa processing kind of questions to you, AK. I know that you're the expert in this area. So yes, I believe the answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer to that question, I'll just give a short answer. It's just that a combined application with a dependent for bachelor's level does have an increased chance of a visa refusal, and it's simply down to the genuineness of a relationship. Now, when it comes to especially the subcontinent regions, Department of Home Affairs are aware that there are a lot of marriages that do happen just for the sole purpose of coming to Australia. So usually a bachelor's level, applicant will be most likely right out of school, or probably 2 years after school. So they wouldn't necessarily have the a relationship with enough of a duration to make it genuine. So, which is simply the reason why we've just noticed that there to be a higher chance of a visa refusal for combined applications for bachelor's level. But a way to work around that is what we have been doing, and a lot of students are doing in Sri Lanka, is that they apply by themselves initially, and then later on for a subsequent entrant visa application. That is something we can help other students with. Maria, Eva, another question is, can a person in the commerce stream join the program? It says maths is required. Is it advanced level mathematics?
Yes, so we will look at the final year of the student's schooling, and we will ensure that maths has been a subject that has been taken, and then also obviously look at the grades for that subject. It is a requirement for the Bachelor of Analytics, but maths is not a requirement for the Bachelor of Business Transformation. So that is one of the main differences in terms of the entry requirement differences. And if students haven't done maths and are really passionate about doing a Bachelor of Analytics, as Eva said, on a case-by-case basis, we can see if they've done perhaps a science subject to see if...
Or completed, let's say, an up to 12 months course in analytics. But also we have another segue into the analytics course, given that the units are running concurrently for each of the courses. If they actually show that they are completing their analytics assignments without any issues, they can actually decide to graduate with an analytics degree. They can basically transfer into the analytics degree.
So the Bachelor of Business Transformation serves almost as a pathway if students haven't done the maths, but are performing well, obviously.
Perfect, Maria, Eva. That's about all the questions in the Q&A section or the chat section at this moment. I'm sure we'll have a lot more questions towards the end of the webinar. I do have one question from my side. Personally, recently, about a few weeks ago, we had a student come to us and inquire about studying a business bachelor's program. But the issue we had was that the student has a hearing problem. Now, this is down to special needs. Now, that student, because of the hearing problem, now with a hearing aid, the student can hear completely fine as normal. But without the hearing aid, the student is having issues with hearing pretty much to nil. Now, because of that, now when it comes to IELTS or PTE, the student, obviously did have issues with the listening part. And the scores were low. Now, that is also one issue when it comes to the entry requirements to a program. But also as an institute, Maria and Eva, do you all accept students, with that kind of an issue? And what would you advise?
We have a particular philosophy about students. We celebrate our students with their special abilities and special needs, and we, as per the Australian Higher Education Standards, we provide assistance for students, particularly, for example, cater for the audio-visual needs of students by providing multiple, like our content through multiple media and channels, in terms of, for example, all our videos have a caption, and we will definitely provide that support for the students, which is already kind of integrated into our programs, but we will make sure that students with any special needs or special abilities are actually feeling at home and belong to our AIA home. Yeah, very passionate about inclusion. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Eva and Maria. Unfortunately, that student is not in the webinar today, but I think she'll be glad to hear that, and we'll definitely relay the information to her. I think that's the questions for now. But like I said, I'm sure there'll be more questions towards the end of the webinar. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Eva. Thank you for joining us today. So without further delay, I think we'll move on to our second part of the webinar. Riya Khan from Southern Cross Education Institute has joined us today. So to give a brief about Southern Cross Education Institute, it's an institute based in Melbourne and in Adelaide, and has programs focused on the areas of early childhood education, community service, as well as health. So I'm going to hand over to Riya Khan.
Yes, thank you, IK. Let me share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Riya.
Yeah. So hello everyone, my name is Riya Khan and I am representing Southern Cross Education Institute. Today we're going to talk more about Southern Cross Education Institute Higher Education. 1 second, let me test this. Okay, yeah. So before that, I'm based in Malaysia, but I cover Sri Lankan market and students as well. So a little bit about Southern Cross Education Institute. We have been established since 2007. That means we are running 16 years now for our vocational Institute. But later in 2019, we started offering bachelor program and coming soon as well as master degree. We are located in Melbourne and Adelaide, and we have bought a building in Gold Coast. Hopefully by next year, maybe June intake, we'll have the Gold Coast building ready. So Southern Cross Education Institute is actually accredited. This is for VET courses. We are accredited by SCEI, and also we are approved credit course provider. And for our Diploma of Nursing, we are also approved by Australian Nursing Midwifery Accreditation Council. So that you know, we do not have seats available anymore for Diploma of Nursing up to June 2024. And the campus that we have in Melbourne, basically 3 campus, but you can see only 2 campus over here. So the third one just ready for purely going to be for our higher education courses. So at the moment you can see 155 and 41 Boundary Road, it is actually now fully for VET courses. And we have a building in Adelaide that is combination of VET and higher education at Grot Street, Adelaide. Both of our campus in Melbourne and as well as Adelaide walking distance to the train station. And let's get into SCHE straight away. The courses that we are offering here: Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Human and Community Services, and Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Education. And we have recently approved Master of Social Work and are planning to offer this in February, but we'll let our agent knows when it's ready. And Master of Teaching Primary, Bachelor of Education Primary, Master of Teaching Secondary is already in the pipeline. We're just waiting for the industrial approval. And the courses that we are having at the moment, Bachelor of Human is accredited by ACWA, and Bachelor of Early Childhood Education is accredited by SCEI, and as well as Graduate Diploma of Early Childhood Education. I'll share with you what is the benefit of this accreditation later. So for SCHE, we are also accredited by TEXA, and we also have study assist for our domestic students. And these are the nationality mix our students that only studying with SCHE. Overall, SCHE and SCEI has almost 2,000 students currently studying with us, but 557 are studying with us for bachelor program and graduate diploma. As you can see over here, our top 1 student coming from India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. So it's a good thing. We are rich in diversity, but we would like to create a balance in terms of nationality as well. And we have a team that is actually working on this. So let's go through a little bit about Bachelor of Education. We don't have academic teams representing today, but I have a note from the academic team. So basically this program will teach the student on how to talk and work with the kids, family, and other people in schools and community. And this also will let the student know a lot about how kids grow, learn, and how it affects their education. And this course is a straightforward course, it's a teaching courses. So they will be able to look at different way of teaching and decide which one are the best for them. They will also be able to make safe and fun classroom, think carefully and solve the problems. The goal is for the student to recognize the goal is for the student to recognize the influence of culture and families on children's education, and for students to continuously strive for improvement and find ways to support children's learning. So basically, this course is accredited by SCEI, and with the accreditation, student will be able to work in Australian company. And the course is 4 years with SCHE, not 3 years, and we have 32 units of studies. Each semester, the student will have to go for professional practice, that is a work placement. So the course is a job ready course. Once student graduate with us, they will be able straight away get into the work environment. So the employment opportunity here is actually the student can work in an early learning childcare center, or they can work as a kindergarten teacher, 0 to 5 years old. and also government agency as a policy developer. And this course consists 400 hours of professional practice. We will be sending students to early childhood services or kindergartens to practice every semester. And the minimum requirement basic is year 12. Minimum average 60% out of their best for academic. We prefer science stream student. Other than that, we can go case to case. And minimum IELTS requirement overall is 6.5 with no band less than 6. PTE 56 overall score with no band less than 46. And promotional fees, we are actually offering $5,000 discounted from the indicative fees every semester. That means about $40,000 discounted fees. We do not have a scholarship, but we are giving out discounted fees. That means the student will be paying per semester $10,000. Since the course is 4 years, there will be 8 semester, so $18,000. There will be a non-tuition fees that consists work placement, library fee, and application fee. So the total of the course is 85,650. And Bachelor of Human and Community Services. Sorry, I have to read this because it's not coming from me. So this degree will basically teach you a lot about how public health and community services work in Australia. The student will learn about the rules and funding for these services, as well as how they are going to run it. You will also learn about how public health and community services have changed over time and how they affect Australia. The student will develop the skills to think critically and solve problems on their own, and they will also be able to learn how to work well with others in professional environment. The student will also learn how to evaluate and apply theories and research to their work, and how to include the needs of different people and community in your practice. Basically, a degree in human and community services provide numerous employment opportunity. It's not limited to social work and volunteering. It's a 3 years courses, and same as our Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, the student has to complete their professional practice each semester. And the employment opportunity, as you can see over here, those students that are coming to study with us, Bachelor of Human Community Services, mainly from nursing background, physiotherapy interest, and as well as psychology's background. So why is that? Because the opportunity, as you can see over here, they can work as a mental health case worker, they can work as a justice juvenile case worker, and in terms of physiotherapy, they can work as a disability services professional. So we have a broad employment opportunity for Bachelor of Human and Community Services, and this course is also accredited by SCWA, and it is another USP for us that students will be able to work in an Australian company once they graduate with us. And the requirement are the same as our Bachelor of Early Childhood. Year 12 minimum 60% best of 4 academic, and English also it's the same. And this course has 420 hours of professional practice. And similarly to the discounted fees, we are offering $5,000 each semester discounted, but $21,000 cheaper because of the course only for 3 years, 6 semesters, so 60,000. Non-tuition fee 4650 consists of work placement, library fees, and application fees. Our graduate diploma early childhood program is actually for 1 year course, and this course it is more suitable for onshore students because it's only a 1 year course, so we don't advise our offshore student. But in case we have a student that has already graduate bachelor that same background as early childhood education from offshore, that we may consider this case to case basis. And this course at the moment we are having a promotional fees of $9,000 per semester. And we have 3 intakes per year for graduate diploma program, that is February, June, and as well as October. But for bachelor program, we have 2 intake, February and June. So I'm almost at the end of my slide already. Why enroll with SCHE? As I mentioned earlier, we are accredited ACWA and SEQUOD. This is one of our proud. So our student will be able to work and will be prioritized by Australian company once they graduate. And we also guarantee work placement. We are rich in diversity, as you can see, and not only students but also professional expertise. I'm a Malaysian, so we have a few other. We also have Sri Lankan, Bangladeshi, South American, as well China, and so on. We also provide personal counseling. We do have an online counselor and as well face to face. It totally depends on the student in terms of homesick, depression, mental issues, and all that. Will be able to help our student. We do have a very supportive student welfare, not only onshore or also offshore. We after hours and so on. We offer a reasonable tuition fees. I would say it is a reasonable tuition fees for these courses that compared to a university, it is a reasonable tuition fees. And we do also have a prayers room for multi-faith spaces. And also we do offer a disability services for those students with a disability. And English language and academic writing workshop, we have once a week support classes to the student. And we also do help students in terms of legal services, accommodation services, and other support related. So that's it, okay? If you have any question or anyone have question, please feel free to ask me.
Perfect. Thank you, Riya, for the in-depth information about the institute and the offerings, and good to know about the promo prices as well that you're offering to the students, and also the student support services as well. Riya, there are a few questions, about 3 questions. They're understandably all focused on the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education. I'm sure everyone's aware that early childhood is a very is pretty much the second most on demand for the permanent residence pathways, next to nursing. The first question, Riya, is does the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education lead to skill assessment?
Yes. Yes.
It does.
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Yes. I think you know that too, with the
Yes.
accreditation that we have. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe the 4-year program and the number of supervised teaching included in the program does meet the requirements for the skill assessment as an early childhood teacher from the AITSL assessing board. The second question, Riya, is can we get exemptions for holding a UK diploma of early childhood education from Sri Lanka?
You mean course credit?
Yes. So it's a UK
i-
diploma of early childhood education from Sri Lanka.
Usually it's not, because it's not the same as with the Australian academic subject and all that. But I can take their transcript and give to our academic director to go through it and see how it goes from there. But usually no.
Okay, Riya. Okay.
Yeah.
The third question is there any ELICOS pathway for early childhood, and do you accept one band less than 0.5?
No, we are very strict in terms of English, so we don't package it with ELICOS or EAP or general English as well.
Okay, thank you, Riya. There are a few other questions on the chat and Q&A. I'm just going to go through them now. The first question is, can I know about the recognition of the CIM UK qualification and programs that I can apply with CIM UK qualifications? I think this is more directed towards Analytics Institute of Australia.
I'm sorry. So
Yes,
with any recognition of prior learning, we would there's a process where every case would be assessed. Are you familiar with that qualification, Eva?
Which qualification? Can you please repeat that again?
It's the British CIM qualification. I think that's the one focused on marketing.
Yes. So I actually cannot give you the details straight away. What we can do is follow this up and make sure that we have the right information for those people who are interested in joining us with that sort of degree.
Okay, thank you, Eva. Thank you, Maria. And Riya, I think there's another question for you. from Chris actually. Is there any issue with applying for vet courses since Sri Lanka is now at level 2?
I think we don't offer vet courses for offshore, but we had a discussion. I had a discussion with you. We can give it a try, another application, see how it goes, Chris. Yes,
Yeah.
but still at the moment the management say no to vet courses for now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a few months ago we did try with the Sri
Yes,
Lankan
yes,
student,
you did
and
good. Yes.
yes, and we
Yes.
were successful in that vet visa application.
Yes.
But I think the level 2 issue, with Sri Lanka coming out level 2, it's nothing too much to be stressed about as long as we meet the requirements.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
uh,
we can give it a try, one more application, then I can convince the theater
definitely.
management. Yes.
Definitely. And Maria, there's another question for you. In relation to the same question, Eva as well. So CIM, that's the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK qualification.
Yeah. One of the problems with I shouldn't probably start with the problem. What I'm trying to say that, as I said, our degree, the business transformation degree, is not a straight business degree. So there are a lot of analytics units incorporated or subjects into this course. So I think it would be a case-by-case analysis of looking at the units and mapping them onto the course. At this stage, we don't have any prepared parameters for you that we can share now, so we will get back to you with that.
Perfect.
It's not a marketing course, it's not a business course, it's a business transformation based on analytics, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Eva. And thank you, Riya, as well, for joining us for the first session of the webinar. I believe that's all the questions that were provided to us. But thank you again. And thank you, everyone else, as well, for joining on a Saturday morning and afternoon. Everyone's probably, the days for resting and, enjoying, but you'll, join the webinar. So thank you very much for that. If you all do have any more questions, I am going to share my screen here. Just a second. Yeah. Can you all see my screen? Yeah. So it should have our contact details. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And we will definitely, we have a great team of counselors that will be able to, help you out with all your issues and inquiries. So thank you again, guys. Is there anything else to add? Riya, Maria, Eva?
AK, I was just going to say that yes, your contact details weren't there, so perhaps
is
we
this
could
there?
show those. There we go. Because we'd love to hear from any of you if you've got further questions. I'll be sending some further documents to you, AK, just with all the information about each of our degrees. But we'd love to hear from you. And again, thanks for the opportunity for speaking today on a Saturday.
And we would love to welcome students from Sri Lanka.
Definitely. Thank you, Maria. Thank you,
so
Eva.
much. Thank you for facilitating this excellent session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Riya, as well. And to everyone, we'll be having these webinars every Saturday, this whole of this October month and early November. And we'll have more universities and institutes in Australia